Class is now in session. Hey everybody, welcome to today's
welcome.
lesson.
Should be yours. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
I've been waiting up in this attic for the past 15 minutes.
It feels like it's been a while, right?
I know, man. We're on episode whatchamacallit now, but at this point, we're a household name. Or we should be.
We started from the attic, and now we're
Started
in
from
the house.
top, now we're here.
I gotta move this Lego for a second.
Yeah, man. You gotta talk about that Lego today.
This Lego right here?
Actually, yeah. Talk about it right now, because it's been chilling on the couch with us for a better part of a week now.
Good week.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. We get like weekly updates. Yeah, there's like new additions. So I got this collector's edition. This is an Indiana Jones Lego set. It's called the Raiders of the Lost Ark Temple of the Golden Idol. For those who are in the Lego space, who are curious, I mean, first off, I'm assuming you know about this set, the number 77015. I know that's something the Lego
Plug it.
crew likes. But no, so what's cool about this is it's like a more like collector series. It's 18 plus, so it's not like considered like a kids Lego. So there's more detail. It's a little bit more of an intricate build. It's essentially a large scale set of the opening scene, with the big boulder that chases after him.
Yep.
The idol switch. But it's a recreation though of a set that came out in 2008. So it's the first Indiana Jones collector's Lego.
It's an upgraded, higher detailed version of something that came out in the past.
Yeah.
And now it's for adults in a way.
Yes, exactly.
Cost a little bit, little kids can't be purchasing this with their Sunday allowance.
No, it was a good chunk of change. But yeah, I haven't built it yet.
That's a nice boulder. That's a very nice
That's a nice boulder. That is a nice boulder. I love it.
Dude, Shrek, man.
I want to say something. Because I grew up loving Shrek. I felt like when that first movie came out, it was all anybody could talk about.
But
no, we're not at a but yet. Then the second one comes out, carries that. If anything, I thought it was even bigger than the first.
Shrek 2, yep.
Shrek 2 is I think it's the best of. I would argue that probably with some of the best that I think that Dreamworks has put out. Yep.
Is that all you were gonna say?
I
thought because you stopped me at the butt, and I'm like,
I thought you were gonna say something. Your lips were kind of twitching.
No, because I'm like, I'm intrigued. I thought you were about to say like Shrek Forever After.
Well, no. So what I'm saying is that like it's so cool to see that Shrek hasn't really died down. Like granted, it's like a big anniversary. I think it's been 20 plus years since the first one came out. Which is absurd.
Actually, you just unlocked a memory.
And what I wanted to say is that it's the last movie came out. I don't know how many years ago. Granted, Puss in Boots just came out, but it's just one of those franchises I feel so goated. It's like Shrek. I think to me in my mind is like just as recognizable as like a Mickey Mouse type character. I feel like he's in that pantheon of like SpongeBob's and Pikachu's.
He is on the Mount Rushmore.
Exactly.
Of cinema, of animation, for sure.
And I would go as far as to say it's probably top 5 animated movies of all time.
For sure.
Definitely in a top 10 list. I think an argument could be made, maybe not top 5, but it's great. And I constantly, when I think about that, at least the first 2 movies, it takes me to a good place.
Yeah, I owe a lot to Shrek, actually. Like, this is why I love talking to Chris, guys, because as I've mentioned in other episodes, I have a really bad memory. I have a good mind. I'm a smart person. I could learn things very quickly, and everything's up here, but I have a hard time recalling it, But when I sit down here and talk to Chris, like, you're probably gonna be hearing that a lot. Like, you just unlocked the memory. Yeah,
You know what we should do? We should put like a Zelda chime, like, just when you.
Dun, 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 dun,
I got it.
Yeah. But no, I owe a lot to Shrek because I was in 7th grade, and I still remember like it was yesterday, and I was in a drama class, And I honestly credit this teacher. I forget his name, but it was me and a friend of mine at the time. His name was Tavi, and we did a recreation of Shrek. I believe I was Donkey and he was Shrek, or vice versa, but we reenacted the whole, like, that's a nice boulder, that whole scene. But I really attribute that drama class to my love of, not only my love, but my ability to be in front of a class and, like, put on a show. Because we had to do it live in front of a class, you know?
Or even just, it trickles down to now, like, just being a content creator. I think putting yourself out there the way you have
but,
been.
like, that was, like, that was the beginning of it. Yeah, that was the genesis of it, because we did so well, and I actually really loved it. You know, I remember going up there being all cocky that both him and we did it without no script in front of us. You know, we did it all from memory, you know. And then that kind of, like, translated to when we did the Lion King reading.
I was just going to talk about that.
Yeah, so, like, it was all that, like, interconnected, that, like, I knew that, like, one, I had a love for doing this, and then two, that, like, people also had a love of watching or hearing me do stuff like that. But I don't know why I never really, like, took that extra step, like after that. It was just a class, but I kind of feel like maybe we should have been in, like, you know, a drama or a theater. Like, in high school, we didn't really do any of that.
No, I didn't.
No, but I feel like we would have done well.
I don't know what the landscape is now. It's kind of like a cliche, like the theater kids get, like, picked on and stuff. And that was actually one of the driving forces of why I didn't do it.
Like, it wasn't the cool thing to do, right? Like, you were not cool.
Yeah, you weren't cool, and there's such, like, an emphasis to be cool when you're, like, in that stage of your life. And I did choir for the last 2 years of my high school.
Yeah, I remember that.
But, like, the basic choir, which I don't remember what that was called. I know there was advanced choir, which, you know, I'll get to that in a second. But, like, it was cool to be part of the normal choir because it took a whole block schedule of a class, but it was
easy, right?
No, it was 15 minutes, and then you were allowed to go to, like, your lunch.
Your lunch, yeah, because that's what you would do.
But dude, my senior year, and this is why the first half of that year, I was the heaviest I ever was in my life.
Because you had, like, 3 lunches.
Dude, yeah. Dude, listen to this is what I would do. I would wake up in the morning with the audacity of being hungry. I would have breakfast. All right, that was meal number 1.
Oh,
okay,
man.
Go to school,
and we're talking about a Pavlov breakfast. This ain't no regular breakfast.
This is
a big boy breakfast.
Hungry man meal.
There's the hungry man, and then there's
this. This is like the old country buffet. So I mean, breakfast is something light, like a Nutri-Grain bar, cereal,
something light.
5-course meal. Lunch would come around, right? So I'd have my first lunch. I would get something because I had, like, every lunch. That's another thing. When you're in high school, when you have, like, these different block schedules, you never have the same kids in your class. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of, like, part of, like, 6 different friend groups. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah. So I had different lunch periods. I had different groups of friends that liked different types of foods. My first lunch, there was a guy, both mutual friends. I won't say his name just for privacy reasons. Mm-hmm. But he worked at a sandwich shop in Libertyville. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So I would go with him and a group of friends. We would go and get, like, dude, I'm not even joking, a loaded sub. Loaded, mayo, everything. And then chips. And we'd get it discounted because we knew him. Mm-hmm. We came with him.
Right.
And, you know, so I'm eating a giant sub. Like a foot long. Okay?
That was a big boy.
Boom. Done. Then I would have choir lunch. Okay? And that was...
lunch with the choir groups.
With choir groups. And they, you know, let's go get... Oh, they have fries. We share a fry. Oh, we get some chips. Do this, that. Bad. Then I positioned myself. I got all the classes done early in my high school.
Yeah, your senior year was a breeze.
I was able to have early dismissal. So I have 2 lunches and early dismissal.
You played the game, man.
I did. But I would stick around because I had to wait for my sister to get out, and then I would drive. So I would kind of sit for an hour, go to Walgreens here, there. Dude, sometimes I'd roll up. I would go get Red Bulls and, like, more chips, or I would go. There's a KFC not. And I'll kid you not, the highest.
The KFC. Yup.
Highest weight I ever was 276, I remember the day very clearly when I was like, I need to lose weight, and that's when I went on my journey, and I ended up losing 100+ pounds. But, dude, that was not good, and that was scary.
I was just talking about school lunches the other day, and it's funny, like, for us, actually today, one of my friends messaged me, and it was a meme, a reel about like when Fridays came around, and like for us, you know, we had pizza on Fridays, but I think a lot of schools had like Fridays for pizza, you know. And the meme was just like that moment when you're going up for seconds. And like, he's like he's like seducing the lunch lady to get an extra slice of pizza.
Oh yeah.
But like, dude, I remember, you know, my dad, he was a janitor there, and you know, after school, like after Fridays, bro, like all the leftover pizza was in the kitchen, like, and they put it like in the heaters. So I would get off of school, bro. I just go to town. I'd take out like 2 boxes. I kid you not, I ate like a whole box by myself right there in the break room, and then I'd still take a box home with me, you know, for like the Halo session. And there'd be Doritos and shit, like, you know, I still like to this day, cause man, they don't make. You remember those headsets back in the day, the cheap ones, the ones that came with the console.
Yeah.
Connected to your controller, and the mouthpiece is right next to your mouth, you know, as it should. But like everyone would just hear the crunch noise from my Doritos and the slurp of the Mountain Dew and the, you know, the pizza and stuff. So like, but one thing that I was bringing up to my California friends, and were Bosco sticks. Do you remember Bosco sticks?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
You remember those?
Oh yeah, like the breadsticks. Yeah.
The breadsticks with the cheese inside and the marinara sauce. You remember we only got those like on sticks. I think we only got those on Fridays too.
Dude, you just unlocked a memory for me.
But like they don't have them here. I'm like, hey, have you ever had like Bosco sticks?
They don't call them something different. Did you describe it to them?
Yeah, they're like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Get out.
I'm like, bro, how do you not know what Bosco sticks are? Those were fire. But like, you can only get them at like. There, like where can we go buy Bosco sticks?
I have no idea.
You know, and they're just like regular breadsticks, like filled with cheese, but they were just so perfect. Like these were so fresh with the marinara.
It's true. There are things that are regional. You know, I think we feel like we can have anything at our disposal, but you know, some things are just different in other places, I guess.
Man, we had some good lunches, bro.
90s food, like snacks in general, were so good.
Like they don't make them how they used to.
Yeah. Or even like Dunkaroos, like
oh yes,
those, like they brought those back. I want to see more of these older things coming back.
Like, you know what just came out though that we've talked about that we gotta
Mario Oreos.
The Mario Oreos.
We gotta get those. Yeah.
Where do you think we can legitimately get them? Like where should we strike?
I think Walmart.
I know we're gonna try.
I think Walmart's gonna be the place to get them. Now I only say that because when we were going for the Halo Pringles, way back when, Walmart ended up being the one
you
that
still
had
have those, right? I wonder if they're still good.
You want to try one?
I mean, those McDonald's fries last for like 50 years. You've seen those.
A Pringles can, come on.
You've seen those photos.
It's airtight. Nothing's getting in.
Yeah, dude, because I think I was still living with you.
When we
had
this,
them, right?
Those were 2 years old.
Yeah, so like I remember, bro, like there'd be some nights where I'd get a little hungry, you know.
And you wanted to open my Pringles
I'm like,
can?
I'm like, fuck, dude, I want, because they were so good. I don't even think you tried them.
No,
I don't think you've tried them because I had my
them.
can and like I ran through it.
Yeah,
but they're amazing, bro. And I'm just like, man, I want some more. I'm like, he won't notice. But like I'm like, nah. Then I'm like, nah. This dude notices anything, bro. If like
I got I notice any, like if I come in the room, I know instantly.
Have we talked about that yet?
No, and also something I noticed. I was listening to some of our older episodes, and there was a Hulk story that you were supposed to tell that you never did.
No. You were supposed to tell.
I'll tell the Hulk story.
Yeah, because I was telling you. It's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, there's things from other episodes that we didn't finish on.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, I got to make note of that. And that was that
Hulk story.
I told you, like, you got to tell him the Hulk story.
All right, so where do you want to go first?
You can tell him that.
The Hulk story?
Yeah.
Wait, I want to make sure I'm telling the right story. This when you busted up my bathroom.
I mean, is there another one? What else did I do? Did you get me mad? What'd you do to get me mad, bro?
Yeah.
There was no air freshener in there? Or what? I told you not to go in there for 35, 45 minutes?
Well, okay, this is going to be gross. I'm about to tell this story.
Ah, dude.
One of my favorite things, because Christian and I, we've known each other for years. I feel like I don't hide anything from you, vice versa. The comfortability level is probably too much between the two of us. One of my favorite things is when either of us takes a shit.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always... So let's say I'm sitting on the couch and Christian's destroying my bathroom.
Why can't you be destroying the bathroom?
Let me tell my story. Let me tell my story. I'm sitting on the couch like an angel. Okay? And you're over there demonizing...
Exercising.
Exercising.
The power of Christian compels you.
Okay, no, I don't want the podcast.
No.
But we're better than this. Christian. Come on. No. But so it's always like, okay, so you did your business, you destroyed, right? Close the door. It's always you close the door slowly, like you're closing a casket, and then it's always it's never a normal walk. It's always a slow walk, and your head is down, facing down, like you're ashamed, like you can't even make eye contact with me, and then you do a deep breath. You're like, bro, don't go. What do you say? You have to say.
I'm like, hey, bro. You don't want to go in there for about 35, 45 minutes. But you must have not listened to me that day.
No.
Because Mata got a little mad. What
Okay,
do you do?
Okay, yeah, let's tell the actual story.
Yeah.
It's not even, it has nothing to do with poop. I don't know why, but it takes place in the bathroom. That's how we got there. I mean, you did do something in the bathroom.
Yes, I did.
I guess you somehow lost your footing.
I honestly don't know how that happened, bro.
Somehow lost your footing. My God. And you fell, and the towel rack caught your fall.
Yeah.
Okay? But you help yourself up, everything's good. Wash your hands, out. My turn to now use the bathroom, okay? I walk in, and like you're saying, you always joke, I notice the tiniest of change.
Yeah, because I thought I fixed it.
No, you said you didn't even know it happened.
Yeah, I did. I tried to hide it because I felt ashamed.
So I look at the towel rack, and the towel rack, imagine the letter V. And the towels have migrated to the bottom of the V, and I'm looking at this thing. Looks like a piece of artwork.
Dude, that wasn't like that before.
And I was like, "What the heck happened?" So then I tell you, like, you know what happened?
Did you break my? You're like, did you break my?
My towel rack?
Yeah.
What happened to you?
I was like, what?
I'm like, did you Hulk out in there? and you come over, and it's so funny because like, this is where you really became a Hulk. You rebent the pole. Yeah, like I saw your biceps, your triceps, your bulging. I saw you just bent that pole right back straight.
Yeah, it was right.
I looked at you and I was in awe, and my eyes were glistening. But it's funny is that there was like a dimple in the actual metal. To this day, you go over there's this little dimple in the metal. And every time I look at it, I'm like, I can't ever piss Christian off. I don't know what happened in that bathroom. I don't know who hurt him or what happened that day.
I'm trying to remember, like, what the hell did I do to do that? Like, I must have been on the ground, and I tried to lift myself. It was something like trying to use it as, like, leverage to get up. I don't know if I fell or if... I don't know.
Did you, like, repress?
Or maybe I was trying to do, like, some tricep, like, dips or something, like, one hand on the sink and one hand on the bar, and I was just trying to like flex, like yeah, you know,
yeah,
because like at the time, I remember I was like, dude, I have the best triceps ever. Like, even though I don't, but I was just like a meme that like, so maybe I was trying to do some dips, and then then the bar dipped.
So what you're telling me is, I'm sitting on the couch, I paused whatever movie and or show that we were watching together. I'm sitting there waiting for you, and you're doing triceps in my bathroom.
Man's got to stay strong. These streets are tough, man. These streets are tough to, you know. But yeah, man, dude, that story, I'm like, dude, Chris has to tell it, man.
That was a really funny memory. We packed in a lot of stories together in that like cluster of time that you and me first moved out here.
We did.
I want to say something really quick.
Mm-hmm.
For those watching, there's something that's kind of cool. We're on Threads now.
Oh yeah.
Which is actually, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I know you're a Twitter guy. I kind of backed off, just using it. But
let's talk about Threads.
Threads is pretty cool
because, okay, like you said, like I've been on Twitter for a while. I've been an advocate on Twitter ever since like we started. Like since I moved out here, I was like, dude, Twitter's the place to be. And Twitter has gone through so many changes since then. You know, they got bought by Elon and so many changes, and they've added new features.
Whoop-de-woo.
Whoop-de-whiz, whoop-de-woo that. I still love Twitter. But, you know, competition is necessary, or else it gets boring, it gets stale. So that's one reason why I like Threads, because it puts more pressure on Elon and on Twitter to maybe step up their game. But what I'm interested in seeing is because, like, you'd go on Instagram and you'd ask people to follow you on Twitter or even on any other platforms, but there was just always that, like, negativity towards Twitter where, like, people didn't want to migrate over there for whatever reason. They're just like, no.
Now, basically, all your Instagram followers like essentially have the opportunity to follow you the moment they make an account.
Yeah, and it's like now it's an easier like entry into that space is what Threads is. It's Twitter, but like easier to use. It's like the Apple version of, you know, if Twitter is Android, then Threads is like Apple. It's just easier to use. It's simple. There's not too much. It's a simple Twitter.
There are some features that I think would benefit the app. Like I don't want it to be full on Twitter clone like 100%. I mean, it is for the most part, but there are certain things like better uses of like hashtag searching, like a better curated feed, like just general timeline feed.
Yeah,
which I think is great right now.
Follows mean nothing right now, though.
Yeah, but it's good because there's like easier discovery. Like I'm seeing people's posts I didn't even know like this person existed.
Yeah, there's higher potential for virality, as they say.
Yeah.
Like, but right now the people that follow you, I feel like they don't see your stuff, and I feel like you just have to keep posting and posting and posting until one of these sticks, and then people will follow you. But again, those follows won't really mean anything. You know, I honestly think they're also could be running similar to like a TikTok algorithm, to where it's like just like a For You page, and the more posts that you interact with, they're just gonna keep showing you more and more and more. But yeah, they definitely have to improve a lot, you know, in order to get to that step. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that people that were like just hating on Twitter and were just not gonna go on Twitter, now they're most likely on Threads, and now they're getting that taste that, you know, I feel is good. So yeah, follow us on Threads if you haven't already.
And you can also listen to this show on Spotify if that is a preferred method of listening to podcasts. We are talking about doing a couple other platforms. I'm super curious if you prefer Spotify, if you're listening on us via YouTube, or if there's another application or platform that you like listening to podcasts. Because we're definitely open to reaching out to as many of you all who want to enjoy this in the easiest of ways for yourself. That, and also Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you.
Ask away, baby. No, what was that one line? I forget it. What are you trying to ask me?
So, if you could have any toy from your childhood,
A bike. I'm just kidding.
A 1976 Mustang.
Nah, dude. A toy? Okay. I have a story with this toy, unless you're going to cut me off from this story.
No. I'm not going to cut you off.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
Man, so you know me, I was a huge Power Rangers fan.
Okay.
And to this day, he will deny it. But I used to have this Power Ranger toy, and it was the White Eagle. And it was from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but when they were like ninja mode. So instead of the White Tiger Zord, the White Ranger had like a eagle. It was from the movie, and it went like on the back of the Megazord, and the wings kind of like made it fly or whatever. But I had that toy, and I took it to my cousin's house, and I'm pretty sure like I left it there, and next time I went over there like try to grab it, it was like, no, it wasn't yours. It's not yours. It's mine. So like, at the end of the day, I ended up losing that toy, and I always wanted that toy. Like to this day, I want it. And I think they remade it. Like you remember when they had that like Mighty Morphin series, and they were bringing back all the Zords. That one was just so cool, man. Like it had sound effects, and you could collect all the different parts and make your Megazord. But I wanted the Eagle. It was the White Ranger, man. Everyone wanted to be Tommy, you know. So if that's one toy that like I wish I could get back.
Dude, you just unlocked a huge memory for me because my brother was super into, like, we got into it during the Lightspeed Rescue era. Do you remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
And we had that Megazord, and then we had this like gun that could transform or morph into a sword.
Yeah,
dude, those two toys, like, it was just like, it's that function of transforming and building it. It's so simple, but it's so much fun.
Oh my god, Power Ranger! Like the toys are just different back then. Like Power Rangers, I feel like killed it. Another toy that like transformed was a Ninja Turtles toy.
Oh yeah,
and I think they remade these, but they were like, just imagine you have a pet turtle, and it just looked like a regular turtle.
Oh yeah,
and like inside, you opened it up, and well, one, it could transform like back into the turtle, but then if you opened it up, it had like a little layer inside, and it came with little like miniature figurines, and you can collect all the different turtles, and then even the Power Rangers that would like transform from their human form to their ranger form.
Here's the thing though, I was just at Target today. Like, the Power Ranger selection there is pretty great. The Ninja Turtle section. Have you gone to Target and seen what they have right now?
Dude, I owe Target a lot of money, and I kind of feel bad. Like, I have a Target credit card that I hope they're not listening, but yeah, you know, let's just say I've just been so ashamed. Like, I used to go to Target all the time. Like, I wouldn't have a card if I didn't. You know.
All I'm saying is that they have like retro items right now. It's really cool because the new movie's right around the corner.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. Can't wait. Like, we got some fun things planned for the Turtles.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited, man, because I remember like years ago, I would always tell you like, man, we gotta do a Ninja Turtles month. We gotta do a TMNT month. I don't think we ever did, right?
No. I think we only have one like specific Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle video, and that's the Anchorman video that I made for your birthday.
Oh yeah.
I think that might be it.
That might be it. But like, I remember, I'm like, man, we gotta do a Ninja Turtles month, but we never did. And like, with this new movie coming out, and you know, our different ideas that we have, like, finally get to like relive a little bit of that. And I was going somewhere because this is what I was going to tell you earlier, but I can't believe I forgot it again, dude. Oh my god.
Well, why do you think about that? What I want you to do is I want you to go on Entertainment Earth. I want you to put our code in. And I want you to. Our code is the entertainmentearth.com/CCM Toys.
Okay.
For your 10%, You could save, put it right back in your pocket. You know, you could smash my towel rack one more time. You know, no. What I would suggest is you should take a look over there on Entertainment Earth and just see all the selection they have. I was just on it yesterday. Actually, I bought probably more things that I don't have space for.
Do they have like Ninja Turtle stuff?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's a huge. They have a huge selection of everything.
Dang, I'll hit it up. But then maybe with the 10% that I save, I can go pay Target a visit too. I'm sure they're looking for me.
There's a target on you.
No, I was gonna say something along the lines that like it just to calling back to the past and how it's like you can appreciate the stuff in the past a lot more now. It was content related, but it's just the actual formulation of sentences that I'm trying to make isn't coming out, but. Maybe it'll come back, maybe not. But off the podcast, we were talking about a movie that I wanted to bring up today on the podcast.
Yeah, and we did talk about it quite a bit, though.
And I want to talk about it here.
Which, again, I can't believe you've never... Like, that was your first time ever seeing this movie.
Yeah, I just saw, for the first time, a Jim Carrey movie called Liar, Liar. I had never seen it before. So apparently, it's a 90s classic. I must have been living under a rock because I had never seen it.
You were under a nice boulder.
I was under a nice boulder. But I'm so glad that I saw it. I'm ashamed that Chris never told me about this movie.
Because I thought you had class.
It was so good, man.
It's very, very
like
good.
It still holds up to today. Like I know it was like a 90s movie, but to me it felt like it was made today. It was that good.
Good comedy, it can transcend. One of my favorite comedies of all time is a movie, it's black and white. It stars Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon. And it's like on AFI's like I think it's #1 best comedy of all time. It's an old black and white film. The clothing obviously is like period to the time. The building, the cars are different, but the comedy is like from beginning to end, like so executed, acted, timing perfect. It's such a good movie.
What's it called?
Some Like It Hot. We should watch that together. And I saw, at the Hollywood Palms Theater. I saw it actually. I saw bits and pieces of it. Like my parents would have it on the background, but I saw it for the very first time. Tony Curtis was at the theater, and I met him a year or two before he passed.
Or no?
Yeah, I have his right on the wall.
You gave me a copy of that.
I did, yeah.
But see, I don't know where those are. Like I remember you put them in a yellow envelope.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of other goodies in there. I think that's
Karen
where
Allen's,
Karen Allen
Ernest
signatures.
Borgnine,
I still remember
Curtis.
the photo of them on the boat.
I think I had Ashley Greene too.
Yeah, you had a lot. And you put it all there. It was a care package, and I always had it. I had a special place in my closet for stuff that Chris gave me, and it was up there with one of my birthdays. You got me a Ninja Turtles calendar. Mm-hmm. I think you got me a Blu-ray player.
Yeah, I did.
One time you got me a Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
And you got me a bunch of stuff. And it was all there. And then from that place, from that apartment, I mean, when I moved out on my own, I didn't take any of that stuff, and my mom took all my stuff and put it in a box or something. And then that got moved to when they moved to their new place now. And that's all I think in the crawl space, because we don't have a basement. But I hope that all that stuff is there. That's where my mini baseballs are, I hope, and all my other collectibles and stuff. I hope they're down there, still somehow protected. I wish I could bring it over here, but some stuff I feel belongs at home. Is there any stuff that because I mean, you have a lot of stuff here. And I'm sure you brought a lot of stuff back, but are there any of your stuff that you have that are back home that you feel belong there, and even that they're yours, you wouldn't bring them here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's hard to say. See, this I think that's a bigger question for you because I kind of took a while for me to kind of get into this headspace where you've been here for 3 years now, 2 years now,
2.5,
2.5. I've been here for almost or like about 8 years, and for a long time I kept referring when I would think of the word home, I would just think of Illinois. And I think I'm finally in a headspace where when I think of home, I think here. And when I think of Illinois, I just think like I'm visiting family. Like I think I have that. I was able to kind of plant more roots here. I think for like it takes time. But so you're saying that when you think of home, you still have a foot over there.
Well, I still think that's always going to be home.
Well, yeah, I think like home sweet home, yes. But I would guess in my mind, like
home is where you make it. no, I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. Like, this is home for you now. This is home.
Like home. Like maybe I'm not saying it right.
But like for me, it's like when that's home. Like home is always to me. Home is where my parents are. I think that's how I think about it. Like, home is where my siblings are. Home is where, like, I have a big family, so home is where my cousins are at. Home is where my family's at. That's home for now. Until, like, obviously, if I ever make a family of my own, well, then that'll eventually trump it. Like, all right, well, now this is family. This is home. And I'm obviously not at that part of my life right now, but right now, yeah, like I would still say, like, I would still consider Illinois my home, and I'm excited to go back. By the time this is up, I'm probably, I don't know, maybe I'm there forever. I'm just kidding. What do you think? You pondering over there? I got you thinking or what?
No, you got me thinking the opposite.
Right.
I'm not thinking at all. Just staring at your beautiful face.
Well, take a picture. It'll last long. Dude, I got in trouble, bro.
For saying that?
Bro, I gotta tell you this story. Savage, dude. I was a savage kid, dude. Like, I don't remember the 100% details of it, but, this is kind of more or less how it went. But I remember, like, back then, dude, I was so stubborn. When I was a kid, I'd rather just stay home and play video games.
Did you say back then you were stubborn? Did you just say that?
I'm still stubborn.
You're still one of those
I'm like Bumpy, dude. Like Malcolm X, that damn kid is so stubborn. Yeah, I was still stubborn, bro. I was stubborn ass dude. I mean, I'm not as much as I used to be.
I don't mean to call you out, but...
No, I don't think I'm as much as I used to be, though. I used to be worse. And I remember I was playing Halo. It was like a Saturday. And I'm there grinding, And I think, like, my dad was telling me to go visit, like, an aunt or someone that, like, had just come from Mexico to visit. And he wanted me to go meet them for the first time. And I either said, take a picture of me and show it to them. It'll last longer than or you take a picture of them and bring it to me. Something along those lines. It was something that involved a picture being taken instead of, like, actually meeting them in person. And, like, that was such a dick thing to say to my dad, But, like, my dad, like, he just kind of, like, he went with it. Like, he was upset, but he just, like, let me play my video games. And, like, I ended up just not going. I don't know if I ever met this person, like, again or whatnot, because I don't remember who it was. But, yeah, like, I was bad growing up. Like, I just didn't listen. Like, I would talk back, quote unquote, like in Spanish. It's like, it's rezongar. That's the word. Like, my mom would always tell me, like, no me rezongues. Like, don't talk back to me. Oh, like, eres bien rezongón. Like, you talk back all the time. Like, I would never stay quiet. I always had something to say, Like if I was gonna, I was like a rebel. You know?
It's so funny. This is why I'm laughing. Is because you have that rebellious spirit to this day. You are. You are, I don't want to say combative, but you are very true to your thoughts, your view, your opinion, and I think it's admirable.
But my mom, you know what's funny? Like my mom made me that way though. It's
like, that's how she is, right? Like you kind of are, yeah.
It's crazy how like she'd get mad at me, and like I remember when I got old enough to process that, I would be like, "Mom, why are you getting mad at me when like you're the reason I'm like this?" You know?
Yeah.
So, or like she would swear at me, like, you know, she'd use swear at me in Spanish, you know, hijo de tu. And I'm like, I'd be like, Mom, you know, you just called yourself like a bad word. And then she'd get even more mad. And then like, you know, it was just over and over and over again. And like, no, don't talk back to me. I'm like, why not? You know, you always tell me to not keep my mouth shut, like to speak up for yourself. But yeah, I mean, I'm. That's how I am. I don't think I'm like that as bad as I was back then. But
isn't it interesting that like one day if you know I have kids, you have kids, they're gonna be mini versions of yourself in some capacity, and you will. I'm not saying
it's like that tradition, right?
Through that, but yeah, you're gonna probably experience that same rebellious. You know,
the spitting
modified,
image, the spitting image of me. There's a saying in Spanish. It's like lo que no puedes tener en la casa, and it's essentially translates to like that one thing that you like you just it just upsets you to see, or like that one thing that it irks you, that you just can't stand, always ends up being what is like in your presence. You know, it's what's in your home. And
it's karma.
It's karma.
Yeah.
It's the Mexican version of karma. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I was raised that way. You definitely saw it in me. You still see that in me to this day. But I was worse, bro. Like before you met me, I was worse. And my cousins, they know. You know, that's why a lot of us got into it when we were younger. But I've seen a change in me. Yeah. I know it's not much, but my kids won't be as bad as me. I'll say that. I'll drink to that.
It gets watered down a little bit. It just keeps getting watered down.
Yeah.
So our grandkids are going to be good people.
You know, maybe my partner ends up like mellowing me even more, or making me even worse. Who knows? Find out in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Is there any like cartoon that you've been watching at all?
Well, I know you've been watching Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I haven't been watching. So what I've been watching, I've been trying to. I've mentioned this in a previous episode. Catch up on all the DC EU movies, even though the DC universe is evolving and changing. Even though it's kind of loosely still connected, but I totally disregarded the DC films. I think I saw Man of Steel and the first Batman vs Superman. Wasn't too impressed, and I just didn't watch any of the other movies except for Shazam.
I'm glad that you're getting like into DC again.
Or
finally.
Yeah, like I think I really missed out, and I don't want to be the same voice that's kind of like echoing on the internet, but I do think like both Zack Snyder renditions and or edits, ultimate editions, what have you, are significantly better than what was originally put out, and I'm really enjoying. Like I saw, like Wonder Woman was great. You know, I really liked. I thought like even Birds of Prey wasn't as bad as I think people made it out to be. It's just, you know, it's a cool story that was set up. It seemed more unified than I also think people gave credit for. So that's what I've been kind of watching whenever I have a moment. Other than that, the last cartoon show that I probably watched was I got really into The Simpsons like a year ago, and I would watch like 5 episodes.
Would your parents let you watch The Simpsons like growing up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't weird about it. I know some families were.
Dude, my mom would not let me watch The Simpsons, bro. Like, I got clowned on it every Sunday. Like, every Sunday we'd go watch our parents play baseball, right? Or our fathers play baseball. And everyone except me watched The Simpsons. Everyone, like, related to The Simpsons, quoted The Simpsons. And I was the only one that had, like, Simpsons merch. Like, I'd always be rocking, like, you remember my Homer shirt?
Yep.
And, like, I'd have Simpsons pajamas, Homer boxers. Like, I had so much Homer merch. Burger King had Simpsons watches.
Dude,
Simpsons toys.
I was just talking about literally that today at lunch.
Dude, Burger King's the greatest thing ever.
I am 1000% gonna make a video on this. We're gonna have to do this probably for like a Halloween special. Do you remember it was every Halloween?
They had the green icy,
the icy,
orange icy.
Yeah, dude, they had the blended purple black one. Do you remember the black one?
I was there. I worked there for that one.
Does anybody remember that? They had the coolest toys, like the Simpsons in different Halloween costumes.
That was for like the Simpsons movie.
That was. I was in grade school when they were doing like all this stuff. I was even younger, and they had every Halloween they had this promotion with them. They had like I think there was like a black bun Whopper at one point. They had the black slushy. It was such a cool
for the Treehouse
combination.
Of Horror, like all of that.
Cool collaboration, and I absolutely love. So I got a Universal Studios pass a year ago, and they have the Simpsons Land, and I rediscovered my love for this show as a kid. So I started watching it a year ago, and I was watching Simpsons like every night. And I have to say that's another thing, a show that holds up to this day. The writing and the animation and the humor, that first like wave of episodes are so good. It stands out.
Yeah, I hope so. Like that's one thing that I always wanted to tackle. Like I used to buy. They came with the
box sets.
The box sets.
I had those too. Every Christmas I'd get one.
But like I couldn't afford them all the time. So I'd buy one here and there. And I never had like a full set. Like I'd have season 3, season 9, season 12. I was all over the place. And then they used to come with like some would come with like a cushiony like cover. Like it was like a Homer Simpson and like it come with little foam padding on it and stuff. But I never collected them all. And I just gave up because there were so many. But now like I have like streaming services where everything's right there at the touch of your fingertips. So when I finished Dragon Ball Z, I originally wanted to watch Dragon Ball, but it wasn't available with the service that I had. Now it is. And I started Dragon Ball Z. But once I finish Dragon Ball Z, I'm going to backtrack and watch the original Dragon Ball, which I've never watched.
It's so good.
And then I want to rewatch GT because in my mind, GT it has a special place in the heart for me. I
GT.
Really love GT. Like people give a lot of crap to GT. But I think it's because people were I feel like so many people, I think this is what happened. So many people became fans of Dragon Ball because of Dragon Ball Z. And even those people had never seen the original Dragon Ball. But what people don't understand is that Dragon Ball GT was them going essentially back to what made Dragon Ball Dragon Ball. It was like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z
combined.
Fused.
Yeah.
But when Dragon Ball GT started off like Dragon Ball, people didn't really like it. But once you got to like, the Omega Shenron arc, and you got to see Super Saiyan 4, Goku, Vegeta, then they fused Gogeta, like, and then the last episode, the Farewell Goku, also, like, man, that thing made me cry. Like, if I watch it right now, I'd probably cry. Like, just to see that that's what's going to happen to us. Like, we're talking about our kids, like our future kids, if we have kids. And we only have, like, here I go going all fucking sentimental again, right? But, like, we have one life, and, like, in that episode, he got to see, like, his kid's kid, and how, and his friend, he was fighting Vegeta Jr. and Goku Jr. And it's like, wouldn't that be so cool? Like, that's part of, like, an afterlife that I don't know if it's true or not, but I hope it is true. That, like, when we do pass, like, if we're still able to see some of this stuff. Like, I'd love to pass on or whatever, and like 100 years from now, be able to see what has happened of what we've done on this planet in a way. I'd like to believe in that kind of like an afterlife.
It's someone was saying this to me, and I never really thought about it in this kind of a way. But when you look at like what genetic makeup is, and like how essentially you transfer it to your children, and it just keeps getting passed along, and it's picking up more data, more information as you meet different people, you partner up, and you have offspring. It's weird that like it's like your essence of who you are genetically, like your makeup as a human being, and your traits, and even your traumas and things that you've experienced get passed along. That then gets passed along to the next and the next and next, and it's basically just like a data transfer from like a computer to another device to another device.
Save file.
It's your save file, and in a way, you do kind of just continue to exist. Maybe not in a conscious way. I have to say this though. There was no worse like nerf of a character than Gohan.
I know,
dude. Gohan is
supposedly, like, I here's one thing. I didn't watch Dragon Ball. What's it called? Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it at all until like the last arc of that, so I'm gonna watch that too. But I hear that like with because there's rumors that they're gonna start a new anime. Because they already have the manga for it.
Okay.
But apparently in the manga, like, they've given Gohan back his love and his strength of what he really is. Because, yeah, Gohan technically should be the most powerful of them all. And it's funny, like, while I'm watching Z right now, even in the first few episodes, it's already hinted, like, yo, this dude's strong. Like, right now I'm in the Frieza arc, and they're saying, like, yo, Frieza, watch out for this kid. Like, he's the strongest one here. He doesn't even know it yet. And what's... Maybe he doesn't have to be the biggest head honcho of them all, but it's cool that that's his character. And, like, I think Gohan is a character that all of us can relate to. Because it's worse. People see the strength in us that we don't see in ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, like, that's why I like Gohan, though. Like, Gohan is us. We have the unlimited potential. We just don't know it. And we need a certain thing. Like, for him, it's like Piccolo dies. And, rah, he goes crazy. Or his father gets killed. Oh, I'm going Super Saiyan 2. It's that one thing that triggers you, and I think that's what people need. I think we're all Gohan, and that's why he's written that way. And he's written in that way for something that's gonna tip him over the edge to unlock his full potential. But we get to see that apparently again, because yeah, they did nerf him a lot.
Do you know what I want to call this episode?
Super
Saiyan Shrek.
Super Saiyan Shrek. Well, see, when you brought up Shrek, I was gonna say, because I wanted to tie it all together, because I see this in you. You're saying you see stuff in me. I see this in you. Like, for example,
you see layers.
I see layers. I see layers in you. Onions have layers. Apparently, they're called. Oh my God, what did he call them? Flavor. From Harold and Kumar, go to White Castle.
Yeah.
Flavor crystals. Apparently, that's what the onions are called. Because
okay.
In White Castle, because we're using.
Yeah.
They dice them and they get all caramelized, so they're flavor crystals.
Oh yeah.
Where was I going? Okay, I see this in you.
Okay.
That, for example, you grew up and you love Disney, this and that, so naturally you loved Pixar, and like I think just because you loved Pixar so much, you had like a kind of like not hate towards DreamWorks, but like they were always below Pixar.
It was like Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah, like they're like this is Pixar, DreamWorks is down here.
Yeah. And
like you're gonna go to bat for Pixar. But like I think like as you got older and like obviously you loved Shrek, and then like Pixar's been, not really doing their thing.
Right.
And you got to finally see, like, hey, yo, DreamWorks is actually not that bad. Like, DreamWorks actually has some cool stuff. And, like, now you're doing, like, you did that now with, like, Marvel and DC.
Right.
And it was the same thing. Marvel's killing it, and by all means, they were at the top. But then now, like, once they started slipping, you got to see, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know, these guys actually weren't that bad. You know, like, that's something that, like, I've noticed with you is that, like, you were able to now, like, look at the other side of things and appreciate the stuff that, you know, like, I would always tell you, like, back in the day, like, yo, you gotta check out this.
Yeah.
You know, and, like, you wouldn't. But, like, now it's, like, it's cool.
I'm trying to, like, open myself up to other things, other views.
So that's, like, your evolution, you know, and I've seen that.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool. And it goes beyond, like, just films and stuff.
Right,
but,
right.
like, specifically, like, 100%, like, yeah, I still love Pixar, and I think it's, like, one of the coolest studios ever. And I do love the Marvel movies for what they are. I have a lot of nostalgia with that whole genre and everything they did with those films. But I am trying to, like, okay, there's this other side of it. There's, like, to every Coke there's a Pepsi, to every Pepsi there's a Coke. So what does this taste like, you know? And I've been enjoying and really trying to read more and watch things that I wouldn't normally watch and try to understand, you know.
But you know one thing that we're not gonna go on the other side of the fence for is the big news that happened today.
What was the big news?
The PS3 is still stink, my friend.
Oh yeah.
Xbox, Microsoft has won.
So okay, walk me through that. I just saw some memes. I don't even know what it's about.
Oh my god. Well, you remember back, like, it was
Was this in regards to the Blizzard thing?
Yeah, because it never fully officially went through. It was getting blocked by the FTC, and Sony didn't want to push it.
What was getting blocked?
They didn't want the acquisition. They weren't accepting the
Of
acquisition.
Microsoft buying out Blizzard?
Activision Blizzard, yeah. So Sony was pretty much, it was blocked by Sony, and they put it through court that they didn't want this to happen because they were afraid that Microsoft is doing this to eliminate, for example, Call of Duty appearing on PlayStation. And Call of Duty has had exclusives on PlayStation for years now, you know. They get first release, they get exclusive bundles, they get in-game DLC to promote them, they got all the commercial rights to it. You know, whenever you saw a commercial for Call of Duty, it was Sony PlayStation.
What's Sony gonna do? I mean, what besides Spider-Man, what did they honestly have? I know they have franchises, but, like,
well, that's what they got scared about.
They lost, like, the Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts crew. They're gonna lose all this. Like, what are they gonna have?
I mean, they still have their IP, and that's why they were so scared, you know. But from what I didn't go into the court details or anything like that, but from what I've read is that Microsoft has guaranteed that for 10 years, like, Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation. Now Call of Duty's gonna they have a contract with Nintendo now, so then, you know, they're gonna get more revenue that way.
Okay.
And then all these other IPs that they've now acquired, you know, the court ruled in Microsoft's favor, so it's gonna go through. They still can appeal it, apparently, and so the battle may not be done, but at the end of the day, Sony just looks bad because they were trying to stop something that, in a way, they were already doing. So it's like they just didn't want anyone else to do it. But hey, Microsoft won in my eyes. You know, PS3 stink.
PS3 stink.
You know, if you like PlayStation, I still love you. You know, it's okay.
I love the PS2.
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation's cool, but, like,
as Dano very famously said in his According To videos, I know, Dano, you're listening, the PS3 still stink.
PS3 still stink. We never came out with that shirt, huh?
No, we didn't. But I really think we should have. Maybe we should bring that swing. Try to somehow bring that back into the ChrisCross culture.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, we have no. I mean, because someone left a comment on a post I made. They're like, "Imagine having console wars in 2023," but, like, I replied, like, dude, it's in my blood. It's in my blood. Like,
it's all we know.
It's all I know.
I grew up.
It was Nintendo or Sega.
I grew up thinking that Sonic was trash.
Yeah, screw Sonic.
Until I saw the other side, and I was like, "Whoa, this is great."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, at the time it was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, Sonic, the new game looks pretty.
Oh yeah, that new game
good.
looks sick. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the console. It's just fun. It's all fun and games. At the end of the day, it's like, who do you want to root for? You know, the Cubs or the Sox?
Yeah.
You know,
I love Halo too much to if I have to pick one. I always feel like Nintendo. I'm always gonna have a Nintendo, regardless. But I've definitely switched over to Microsoft, and I haven't had the incentive to just jump over to also have a Sony PlayStation. Except for I do want to play that Spider-Man game. That's the only reason.
There's always that one game, right?
There's always that one game
that just draws us in. But that's the same for Nintendo. I feel like people that were just like Xbox or Sony, PlayStation, like they buy the Switch for like that one game. You know, we all have that like.
Yeah, but I think that Nintendo has more one games.
Oh yeah.
Like there's I feel like most gamers they choose either like us. You either go blue or you go green. But then you also just happen to have also like a Nintendo. And you're like, oh yeah, I play Mario Kart here and there. Right. Yeah, I play Animal Crossing. Oh yeah, I play it all.
God, man, I think I had a digital version of Animal Crossing.
I know
because
people
when my thing got stolen, oh man.
People got really into that game
during the pandemic, right?
I tried.
I loved that game.
I didn't connect with it.
Dude, I was like, you know me, dude. If a game has fishing, I'm in there. Like, I love the fishing because this is why I still say like Twilight Princess is the greatest Zelda game ever. Like, okay, cool, Breath of the Wild, yeah. Choose the Kingdom, okay, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Twilight Princess is the greatest Zelda game ever made.
All those games you just
because
described,
the fishing, dude.
All those games you just said, Ocarina, Tears of the Kingdom, and Ocarina, all of them have fishing.
Not like Twilight Princess, and not like Twilight Princess on the Wii.
Because of the motion controls.
Because of the motion controls, and you just felt like you were there. You can just pull up to the pond, bring out, and they had different rods. It's crazy, like. It's crazy that I feel like I love fishing in video games before I loved fishing in real life. But in Pokemon, I'd spend hours just fishing. Looking at the old rod, super rod, the good rod, super rod.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
And like you just chill there. You know, and then you see that exclamation mark, you push A, and then like, so that has to be a video, bro.
Well, go fish.
Fishing in video games.
Alright, done, we're going to do it. That sounds awesome.
I think we've actually talked about
we have.
But like I just added something new to this idea.
Yes. Well, there's a big idea you and I have.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
We actually get over.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, this will be a cool like little video essay just because you know how Pokemon just started with like. The love for adventure, bud collecting, but it was also fishing. Because that's what the Pokeball is designed after.
Yeah.
A fishing bobber.
Well, and that was also like the genesis of what these games were, why they were created. It was the love going into the woods and, you know, collecting bugs or studying bugs and going fishing and being part of nature. And
collecting and seeing all these different species and stuff.
Exactly.
Because like, as a fisherman myself, I mean, I haven't fished in a while, but like that was one thing. Like when I was going with my friends, it'd be like, "Hey, today we're tackling this. We're gonna be trying to get this type of fish. So we need this type of lure, this type of bait, these techniques. We gotta go to this river, you know, with this current." And like it was all you're targeting to get this fish, and sometimes you get it. Sometimes you get a new species you weren't even thinking of, but. Fishing is a huge thing in Japan. I mean, they're surrounded by water. So that's why a lot of these video games have that element in them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think it'd be cool to talk about that. To do a little research on maybe the importance of fishing in Japan and the importance of that and how it's translated into...
Oh my god.
Ay, Bing Face! Donkey Kong!
Donkey Kong, come on!
I think this guy wants some... He heard fish. He wants some sushi.
Yeah, he's a
Hijo de su chinga madre! Alright, that's enough bongos from you.
He likes fish. He hangs out with On Guard. He's his buddy pal.
Man, this guy needs to get squirted by one of those things from Super Mario. What's it called? The bloop bloops? The bleep bloops? Or what are they called?
The fish? The red fish?
The squids.
Oh, the squid? The blooper?
Blooper?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that dude needs to get squirted one of those in his eyes so he can't find his way out because he keeps interrupting the podcast, man.
I thought you locked up Donkey Kong in the basement. He's over here bonging his bongos.
This dude's always getting out,
I'm always curious. Is he just like creeping behind us, just like does he come in at the tail end of the episode and starts banging his bongos, or is he sitting there quietly?
He's low key enjoying the podcast, but he's like, hey, you guys need to film another episode.
What I think he's he's got to go to the bathroom. He's like,
did I hear there's a Hulk in there? Better go in there before I only got 45 minutes.
So, okay. I just want to say, it's been great chit-chatting with you all. We are having way too much fun on these recordings and episodes. And, Christian, I just want to say that have you been enjoying the variety of new content also on our other channel, ChrisCross Media?
Oh, that's right. I forgot we had that channel. Dude, if you guys
I just want to say we've been posting daily on there. So please go to ChrisCross Media and please go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of content everywhere. You know, here on the Attic, back on the CCM page, wherever you guys can find us, man. We're trying to go global again. We're trying to be in everybody's home and everybody's couch. TV, cell phone,
Attic,
iPad,
kitchen, bathroom.
You know, preschool, what's it called? Preschool, tablet, whatever. We're trying to be everywhere, and we're trying to take over the world. So,
what's a preschool tablet?
It's those tablets for like little toddlers. They don't have like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're trying to be in there. Okay. We'll have a little kids show, like a cartoon show.
Gotcha.
You know, that's a topic that we'll touch on another episode.
Which one?
Just being generational, creating content that is for all age groups, from young to old.
It's hard.
I think we're doing it. I think we can do it. We have content from when we were younger. Now we have this content here, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really like this episode. I think this is.
I've had way too much fun, and I have to thank you all for tuning in. And Christian. Give me some love. Give me some love here.
Give me some love.
Ooh.
Rocket power.
Woogity woogity woogity.